The front desk clerk didn't even look apologetic. No reservation under your name? The words landed clean, surgical. I felt my mother stiffened beside me. My father studied the marble floor like it held answers. My sister smiled, not wide, precise. "We only booked rooms for a real family," she said, light and cruel. I waited 5 seconds. No one corrected her, so I nodded, calm, almost polite. "Then I'll leave." I turned before anyone could perform guilt. I walked out into the heat with my bag and my dignity intact behind me. Glass doors closed. That was the sound of confirmation. 1 hour later, my phone vibrated itself into silence. 56 missed calls, all from them. I didn't answer. I already knew why they were calling. Because something unthinkable had happened. I wasn't always the disposable one. That role had to be earned. When I was younger, I was the fixer, the one who booked flights, paid deposits, covered emergencies without asking for things. I was the kid who became useful too early and therefore invisible too fast. My sister learned something else. She learned how to be chosen. She married well, or at least strategically. Her husband had money, the kind that speaks quietly but moves rooms. Suddenly, family plans bent around her schedule. Accommodations adjusted, expectations shifted. I noticed it slowly, like pressure behind the eyes. Conversations that stopped when I entered, group chats that forgot to include me, my name missing from plans I helped fund. Small omissions, harmless, if you wanted to lie to yourself. This trip was the proof. I had sent my details weeks ago. Dates, ID, preferences. My mother replied with a heart emoji. That should have been the clue. She only uses emojis when she's avoiding words. Still, I didn't confront. I waited. That's the thing about betrayal. It always reveals itself if you don't interrupt it. I sat in a cafe across the street from the hotel, ordered water, watched the entrant. That's when I saw him, my brother-in-law's cousin, late 30s, loud watch, soft posture, the kind of man who laughs too hard to signal belonging. He checked in confidently, said my name by mistake. The clerk corrected him. Different reservation, same room type. I understood then. They didn't forget me, they replaced me. My room had been reassigned, my payment absorbed, my absence pre-approved. I took a sip of water and started planning. I didn't scream. I didn't storm back inside. That would have been a gift. Instead, I booked another hotel, smaller, cleaner, paid with a card my father didn't know existed. Then I opened my laptop. I reviewed shared accounts, family expenses, old reimbursements that never came back. I followed threads, dates transferred. Patterns are loyal, people aren't. I found it all, years of quiet siphoning. My sister redirecting family funds through temporary holds, my parents approving with silence, using my reliability as cover. I compiled everything, screenshot statements, timeline. Then I made 3 calls, one to the bank, one to a lawyer, one to a travel manager I'd helped years ago who still owed me. By evening, the trip itinerary changed, rooms canceled, perks revoked, complimentary services suspended. I didn't touch their rooms. I touched the leverage. They found me at dinner, all 4 of them, faces tight, smiles cracked. My mother started speaking, apologies dressed as confusion. "I don't want to hear it," I said quietly. The table froze. My sister scoffed. "You're being dramatic." I slid my phone across to her husband. He scrolled slower with each line, his jaw hardened. "What is this?" he asked. "Receipts," I said, "and context." My father finally looked up. "You're hurting the family." "No," I replied. "I'm removing myself from being used by it." Silence stretched, heavy, expensively. Then my brother-in-law stood. "Who took his room?" he asked. No one answered. I didn't need them to. The fallout was efficient. Accounts froze pending review. The cousin was asked to leave the next morning. My sister lost access to funds she'd grown comfortable misplacing. My parents lost the illusion that I wouldn't notice. They didn't apologize properly. They never do. But they learned something. I wasn't the extra anymore. I was the absence that collapsed the structure. Later that night, alone, I listened to the voicemail I'd ignored all day. My mother crying, my sister angry, my father tired. I deleted them all. Some confessions don't need witnesses. Some revenge doesn't need shouting. I slept well because for the first time I hadn't begged for a place. I'd chosen to walk away, and in doing so, I made them face who they were without me. That was the unthinkable part. Not that I left, but that I finally let them feel it.